In the start of the chapter we see some people fighting with monsters. Monster is using his fire power to stop players, and players are using their skills. Red shirt guy says angrily, "Hey, Lee, what are you doing? Can you use the healer buff properly?" He replies, "Sorry, I'll do it right now." System. The Holy's Mother blessing stamina recovery, skill used. He thinks, this place is the kinesthetic hyper VTM MMORPG game. Egrosphere Online. Here players can pick their roles, gain experience, grow, and explore their fantasy world. If you want, you can become a knight able to beat a dragon. Or a mage capable of summoning gigantic golems. So, this game's motto is, Awaken a New Self. It has more than 20 million users, with various roles and new experiences. Enjoying their fantasy lives. However, in this game, the class 1 have. One player shout at Lee, "Hey, can you freaking heal me already? You piece of trash." Lee replies, "Sorry, I'll do it right now." He accidentally hit the stone and fall down. He thinks, is the most unfun and boring out of all, the healer. I watch other play the game while just giving them heals. I am a healer shuttle. Players are shouting at him because he is not doing his work of healing properly. Suddenly dragon attack at them. They all die due to that attack. One player says, "I thought we could kill it this time." System. System asks him, "What can I help you with?" He asks System to notify everyone to retreat. He says, "Anyhow, Lee, that's your level." Lee is getting beaten up by his teammate. "You idiot, you can't even heal. If you had done your job properly, we could have caught it, but you ruined everything." Lee says sorry to him. But he hit him again and says, "Sorry. You really think one sorry is enough?" Oon stop him and says, "We are inside the game, so it doesn't hurt." He says, "You're right. Then I'll just beat him up tomorrow at school." Lee says sorry to Oon. Oon says, "We lost a game we could have won. Well, games are just for fun anyways. Things can go wrong and turn on its head, right?" Lee replies, "Yeah, you're right." Oon says, "However, even though it's just a game, you will take responsibility for your mistake, right? Prepare 600 high-quality potions for us to use during the tomorrow raid at 8 p.m. Lee says, 600, that's over 300,000 won in cash. How can I do that all by myself? Oon is about to leave while saying, "We'll trust you and log out first then." Okay, remember 600 high-quality potions. None less than that. You know what will happen if it won't add up to 600. Lee says, 600 high-quality potions. How is a healer supposed to gather all that by himself in one day? No matter how much I think about it, even if I play all day, I'll be able to get 300 at most. If I won't gather it all, then, I'll definitely be beaten up. Just like last time, I hate it so much. He calls his system and says, "Log out of the healer class character, and log into the altar one." System says, "Understood. I will log out of the main character and log into the sub-character." Lee says, "I get a bit of motion sickness when I use the altar class, however, this is the only way I can manage to gather everything by tomorrow." System says, "Log out of the main healer class completed. Sub-character, Avenger class, log in completed." We see his clothes changes and now he is looking more muscular than before. He says, "So, where should I head to?" We see highest rank dungeon, Red Abyss. Some players are there fighting with Monster. Monster use his attack. One girl stop the attack and says to her teammates, "Hold on until the next ultimate move. Then we'll be able to get him." Monster is about to launch another attack immediately. They get panic. She says, "There was a pattern with an overhead strike." Monster hit his attack and 2 players die. A person, wearing a cap, he says, "2 people in one go." Boy says, "I'll distract it. Nuna, use your resurrection skill during that time." Nuna mean big sister. Boy activate his skill, supersonic speed, enchantment skill has been used. If I do this, I'll divert all of its attention to myself. This will buy us some time. Monster is about to hit him. He says, "Its striking range is larger than I thought." Lee appears and save him. Lee first cut the hand of the monster and then his ear. Monster use his ultimate attack on Lee, but he is holding his attack like it's nothing. Lee Avenger class details. Avenger class's innate passive skill triggered the flower that blooms at sunset. If stamina drops below 80%, you get a 50% increase of power for 10 seconds. Lee says, to finish this, I'll combine the passive skill with the ultimate move. The Dead's Pavane. Monster is defeated by Lee's ultimate attack. Loot is dropped on the ground. He says, this one was a bit difficult. He says sorry to boy and girl. And says, you were in the middle of the party raid, and I just intervened. She tells him that it's fine. We were almost all dead. Lee says, then can I take one of the rewards? She says, you can take it all. Lee took his reward and says, no, I'm happy with just his. If I sell it, I'll be able to buy over 600 high-quality potions. Boy asks him, would you like to be a part of our party? We will try our best to support you. Lee replies, that's great and all, but I'm still a high schooler, and I need to go study, so. Anyway, everyone did well. I will head back first. Boy asks him to at least accept his friend request. Lee says, sorry. Lee is on his way while thinking, if I play with others, it'll be hard for me to stop halfway. System. What's the real time right now? System tells him it's 11:20 p.m. Lee says, what, it's already this late, I'm screwed. I need to bring in the laundry and do my homework. System. Log me out immediately and turn off the game. Let's bring in the laundry first and then do the homework. There isn't too much of it, so it shouldn't take long. Message popped up saying, do really want to log out of this character. Lee says, what's this? This has never happened before. Is it a bug? He chose yes. Again message popped up, will you really not regret your decision? Lee says, what? Why does this keep popping up? Should I check the server status? He chose yes again. We see Lee is sitting at his chair wearing his VR. He take off his VR and says, look at the sweat. I knew it, but playing as an Avenger is so tiring. I should hurry up and chores first then take a shower. Although it feels uncomfortable, VR headset is turns on again. Lee feels something and says, what? Did I play for too long? My eyes are dry. What's happening? Why is my body like this? System. Transferring data. QT system diagnostic check. Biometrics check complete. Z24 matter translation complete. Vassal change process. Process completed. His body suddenly changed into Avenger body. He says, this face, no way, I look like the Avenger. He vomit and says, what kinds of things are happening to my body? System. Matter adaptation 78% confirmed. QT's statistics error margin is within 0.23%. AI's judgment of the ability to participate in the mission found no issues. So from now on, the tutorial will begin. He says, tutorial, what do you mean? He is outside standing on top of the building. He says, what is this? Wasn't I in my Nuna's room just now? How on earth did I manage to come all the way here? We see a monster behind him. He sees the monster and says, no way, this is the game's Black Beast. Lee is scared and says, what? Why is the Black Beast that appears in-game here, in the real world? Black Beast jump to attack. Lee jump out from the building. But he is shocked that nothing happened to him after falling from the 5th floor. Everyone is wondering how the building just blew up. Lee says, based on their reaction, this is definitely the reality that I know. How could this have possibly happened? Black Beast attack him from the top, but he barely dodges his attack. He thinks, for now, even if I don't know what's going on, I need to run from that monster. Two persons are standing there and wondering, what's going on? They can't see that the monster is destroying everything. Lee says, what are they all doing? He tries to talk to the boy saying, excuse me. What are you doing? Why aren't you running? There's a monster over there. He touches his shoulder and says, excuse me. You need to run. Boy can't see that Lee is touching him. He says, what happened? It felt like something pushed my shoulder. Lee is shocked and says, what? Can these people not see? Me and that monster. Black Beast launch his attack and kills that boy. Everyone gets panicked and started running. Lee says, I need to run. I need to run. I need to outrun it, or hide. I need to do something. I need to get away from that thing. Black Beast hit him on the face. Lee is on the ground thinking, am I going to die like this? Each time, without being able to run, getting stepped on, every time. Did I do wrong to deserve this? Lee accidentally uses his skill. He says, what was that feeling just now? Isn't this the same feeling I get when I use a skill in the game? A defensive skill, red thorns. Wait, tutorial, black beast, and skills. Could this be? Lee activate his passive skill, flower that blooms at sunset. He says, just as I thought. This situation, I don't know how, but it's all related to Egrosphere Online. If that's the case, the only way I can live through this situation is this. He took out his weapon and says, it's to subjugate them all. Black Beast jump to attack. Lee also activate his skill, Vengeful Spirit Sword. This skill is the critical skill, reduces your defense to 0 and dramatically increases critical chance for 5 seconds. He cut Black Beast in half. Lee says, the Black Beast is a mid-low grade level monster. System says, congratulations, Sir Lee. You have cleared the tutorial quest. Please choose the quest reward. There are 3 rewards. 1. 3 million won. 2nd. 1 point. 3rd. 3 boxes. He says, will I get the reward that I choose from one of these? After some thinking he choose his reward, but we don't know what he chose. System. You have chosen your reward, then now, the return will begin. He gets teleported into his room. The next day, news reported is telling the news about what happened last night, how building got destroyed and everything. Lee thinks, as expected, what happened yesterday wasn't a dream or hallucination. It definitely happened in reality. Lee's sister enters the house. Lee says, sister, welcome back. You must be tired after your night shift. Wash up and have some breakfast. I just finished making it. She asks him, excuse me. Who are you? He says, I'm Lee, your brother, you don't recognize me. She says, I see, okay. Now that I look closely, you're Lee, I see, I see. She took out electric weapon from her bag and says, did you think I would say that? You bastard. Lee is trying to tell her that he is her brother. But she does not believe at him. He tells her some of her secrets that only Lee know, but still she didn't believe at him. After that he tell her only secret that he only told her before. That their parents passed away in a car accident, and how he begged for amusement park. After hearing this, she believed that he is really Lee. He says, yeah, I don't know what happened either. But my body become like this all of a sudden. She asks him, what are these wounds from? Is your body okay? He replies, they were there too when I woke up. It doesn't hurt. She says, this won't do. Let's go to the emergency room right now. Lee asks her to wait a minute. She asks him, why? You should first get examined if something like this happens. Lee says, no, even so, do you think the doctors would believe what I say? Sis, you didn't, even though you're a nurse. She says, that may be so, but you should get examined if there's something weird with your body. What if it's some bad disease? He says, even so, I don't know how to explain. So I was thinking I'll continue living like this for now. She asks him, like this. What about school? Do you think the teachers and other students would believe you're Lee? He replies, if they don't believe me, then I'll go to the hospital. I'll go get examination if it can be treated. She says, all right, if that's what you decided on, then grab your bag already and get ready to go to school. I'll go with you and explain to the teachers. He asks her, you will? She replies, yeah, obviously, I should go since a nurse's words would be more believable than yours. He tells her, even if you don't come with me, I have a plan of my own. She says, hey, Lee, will you stop complaining and follow your sister quietly? Or, will you follow me after getting hit by this? He says, I'll follow you quietly. We see orange hair girl name, Weall. And black hair girl. She asks Weall, are you watching YouTube? Is it something funny? Weall replies, no, just. It was on my recommendation so I tried watching it, but it was pretty childish. She says, YouTube's unexplainable algorithm strikes again. Anyway, Weall, do you want me to introduce you to someone? Someone from my academy wants to meet you. Weall replies, I don't know, stuff like this doesn't interest me, so. She saw Lee is walking with his sister. Black hair girl says, wow. Who's that? What there a hunk like that in our school? I've never seen him before. We all asks, wouldn't he be a transfer student since he's with an adult? Black hair girl says, is that so? I hope he's in our class then. Right. We all thinks, what is this? Why do I feel like I've seen him before? They are standing outside of the staff room. Lee's sister says to him, the story will be that the changes in your body are still being examined, and you still don't know the exact reason. Got it, he says, got it. Sis, I have a stomach ache because I got out in such a hurry. Can I go to the bathroom? She says, all right, hurry up. He is inside the bathroom and thinks, to be honest, even my sister is a nurse, the teacher won't believe he that easily. Instead, I may raise some suspicious, and get the police called on me. Now he is going to tell what he chose as a reward. He says, I'll have to use the random box. He chose random boxes. He says, I'll have to use the item that I got from it. Item, crystal of picked up skills. Able to use another class's skill at 60% proficiency, once. Item usage, the skill I will use. A caster's, eye of captivation. Mind controlling skill. This is the end of the video, subscribe for the next part. First watch the previous part, link is in the description. Lee is walking to his sister while thinking, the eyes of captivation skill is used to make monsters your allies or buff NPCs. So I have no idea what kind of effect it'll have on normal people. So, if possible, I'll try to persuade my homeroom teacher first. He might believe me like my sister and understand my situation. Teacher is talking to Lee's sister. He says, I don't understand. There are certainly students who change beyond recognition after breaks, but anyone would be suspicious if they're told someone's changed this much overnight. She says, but, as his sister, I know he is Lee. His face is different, but the way he talks and his voice is completely the same. Teacher does not believe anything and says, I don't know. Even if you tell me that, I can only see him as a completely different person. Lee thinks, as expected, even if my guardian is with me, it won't work unless I have some sort of proof of identity. I have no choice, then. I'll have to use the skill to make him believe me like I originally planned. Lee sees Vice Principal drinking tea. He thinks, if I'm going to use this skill, it may be better to use it on the Vice Principal instead. Then he'll be able to persuade the other teachers as well. Alright, let's try it out. It's better to have some on my side as quickly as possible. Skill, Eye of Captivation. Usage. Vice Principal is getting affected by skill. He calls Teach Jang. Jang asks him, yes, Vice Principal. Vice Principal says, I've been listening to your conversation for a while now, why don't we try believing in student Lee? Jang says, what? But he looks completely different, so how? He says, is a student's appearance such an important detail for educator? No matter what our students look like, isn't the role of a true educator to discover the true appearance hiding within their students and to educate them? Miss Guardian, what did you say earlier? Did you say that student Lee has caught a rare disease? She says, no, it's still unknown. They said they'll have to examine him more to find out. Principal shout, if you don't know the cause, then it's a rare disease. What else could it be other than a rare disease if you don't know the cause, in this era where even dogs go to space? Teacher Jang, will you continue to treat this student who's caught a rare disease as a scammer? Will you doubt him? Jang replies, no, even if you say so, even if we believe it, how are we supposed to explain it to the other students? Vice Principal says, I see. The other students, certainly, there will be confusion among his fellow classmates. There's no other choice then. I will take responsibility and explain to the other students. We will head to the classroom, follow me. She said to Lee, it's a bit weird, but it should be okay, right? Lee replies, yeah, probably. Vice Principal explaining everything to Lee's classmates. You must take care of student Lee. How surprised must student Lee be? He's become a completely different person due to a rare disease. Close your eyes and think for a moment. Just imagine how heartbreaking and confusing it must have been. Can you not imagine it? I can't stop crying just thinking about it. Lee thinks, it's over. I thought he would persuade them through logic, but this kind of emotional story that no one would buy. Jang is trying to make Vice Principal stop crying. Lee is sitting on his seat while thinking, should I have just used the skill to say I'm transferring schools? Black hair girl calls him. She asks him, what's with you? Are you really that loser Lee? He replies, yeah. Then she asks him, isn't this a joke? How can someone change this much so suddenly? What was that earlier? What rare disease? Lee replies, I heard from my sister earlier. Acute change syndrome. You get it if you're under too much stress. One person says, no way. There's no such disease. It's not a comic. So how can someone change this much after some stress? No one believes at him. He thinks, as I expected, it was impossible to persuade them with the vice principal acting like that. What do I do? We all says, I've heard of this disease before. Black hair girl asks her, where? She replies, I just heard it from my dad one day as a passing conversation. A person living in some town in Germany woke up one day and saw that he grew 12 centimeters and had a completely different face. It was something about a disability in some hormone secretion organ or something. Right, Lee, he replies, yeah, that's right. They believe everything that we all said to them. Lee thinks, it didn't go as I expected. But I got through it okay. These guys might think of it as weird at first, but won't they get used to my changed form over time? What's left is, how Oon and his friends will treat me. Oon is not seeing him. He thinks, is Oon not interested? We all calls Lee and asks him, do you have earphones? I want them to listen to some music during the study period. Lee replies, yeah, but it's something I've used, is that okay? She replies, doesn't matter. I don't really care about it. Lee gave her his earphones. She says thanks to Lee and start using his earphones. Lee thinks, yeah, if I think about it, I'm no longer myself from before. I was pretty short and was all bones before, but now I've become bigger, gained some muscles. So Oon and the others might not bully me anymore. No, not might, it will change. Like the others, I'll be able to make friends and go to school like normal. In this alter body, I can do it. I can change for sure. Lee is not standing in front of Oon and his friends. Lee says, I thought it might change, but, after standing in front of those three, can I not move a muscle like always? Why am I still afraid, as if I'm about to be preyed upon? Minho says, it's real. Lee, you really became a completely different person. Were you injected with the super soldier serum? Hey, Juan, do a move on him as you always do. I want to see if he can get out of it with that new body of his. Juan is getting ready while saying, should I? I'm pretty curious as well. Juan grabs Lee from his neck and says, try getting out of it. Get out of my move. Do it if you can, with that new body of yours. Lee, you loser. Minho asks him, hey, how long are you gonna do that for? People will think giving him a back hug or something. Juan says, just wait a bit. I'm gonna make him faint. And show you this guy pissing himself. Lee thinks, no, I can't muster any strength since I can't breathe. My neck hurts. As expected, I'm stupid. Nothing will change just because my body changed. Obviously, nothing would change. Lee is imagining that Small Lee is talking to him. Small Lee says, do you think so? Do you really think nothing has changed? Isn't it because you're doing nothing? Snap out of it. You're no longer that weakling Lee. You're just getting scared as always. Think about when you defeated that monster last night. You can fight if you put your mind to it. Sue, don't just wait for things to get better. Change it yourself, Lee. Message, skill, resolve for revenge counter skill, activated. Lee throws Juan in front of him and frees himself. Oon and Minho get shocked. Lee is still scared of him. Juan is angry. He says, you bastard, how dare you throw me out? You're dead, you small fry bastard. Lee is now running for his life. We all sees Lee is running from someone. Lee says, I can't, I really can't. Fighting those three is so scary. Lee hit the stone and falls down. Juan and Minho are also reached there. Juan hit Lee on the face. Juan says, you bastard, I was gonna let you go after just a bit, but you ran away. I guess I need to make a proper person out of you. Juan is beating him without any mercy. Lee is getting beaten up so badly. He thinks, as I thought, I can't do this. I mustered some courage and used a skill, and tried running away, but nothing will change. We all is there. She throw a battle and break it into pieces. Now everyone attention is at her. She says, why don't you leave it at that? I feel like I'm gonna get a migraine from all this noise. Also, I have plans to go play with that boy lying over there. Can you let him go? Don't butt into my business. Won gets angry and asks, who the hell is she? Minho tells him, the daughter of a pharmaceutical company's president. Don't you know her? She's the richest kid in the school. Won says, a president's daughter. Is that why she has no fear? Hey, butt in after reading the situation. Do you think you have any right to interrupt here? Do you wanna get beat to shit as well? She says, sorry, but can you take 5 steps back? I feel like my nose is about to rot from your stench. You ugly disposal waste. Won gets angry and is about to hit her. Small Lee again talks to Lee, you know what you have to do now, right? There's no need to fear, or run away. You're no longer a healer shuttle. Lee shout from behind, stop it, and hit Won on the face. Won goes flying after eating a punch. Lee says, stop it right now. Just stop it already, you damn thug. Won is getting up while saying, Lee, you son of a, I guess you wanna go. Alright, I'm down. I'll be your opponent once. Clench your teeth hurt if you don't want to die. You bastard. Won hit Lee with a punch, but Lee block it easily. Won is throwing punches again and again. Lee activate his skill, perseverance damage absorption skill, usage. Lee stop Won by grabbing his hand and says, damage absorption transfer. Won get hit pretty badly. Then Lee uses his skill, grudge-bearing flower, deals multiple attacks exchange for health. Now Won is the one who is getting beaten up pretty badly. Won is on the ground. Lee is about to give him a punch on the face but we all stop him. She tell him that his hand is bleeding. We all says, let's go. You have no business with them anymore. Minho calls him saying, where do you think you're going? Minho is holding on a stick to attack Lee. Girl use some kind of skill and stop Minho on the way. She says, let's go already. Weall is applying bandages on Lee's wounds. She says, there, all done. It's only a temporary fix, so go to the hospital later. Anyways, your face is a total mess, look for yourself. She says, I should get going. It's getting really late. I had something to talk to you about, but I'll leave it for tomorrow. Lee thinks, something to talk about with just the two of us. What could it be? Is she curious about the changes in my body? Since she's the daughter of the pharmaceutical company president, she might be interested in medicine development or something. Window pops up in front of him. A subjugation quest will begin in 5 minutes, will you accept? Lee says, a subjugation quest. Could this one be the same as the one from yesterday where I had to fight a monster? I'll obviously refuse it. Who the hell would want to do that again? He clicks no. System says, I'm sorry. Users with penalty points cannot refuse quests. Lee asks, what, penalty points? When did I ever get penalty points? What did I do wrong? System replies, Sir Lee has received a total of 400 penalty points so far. Then penalty points details are as follows. Skill usage on a normal person, 100 points. Using a skill to attack a normal person, 100 by points 3 times. Due to these penalties, Sir Lee will be forcibly transported to an upper grade. Subjugation quest location, corresponding to 400 penalty points. Please prepare for combat. Lee disappears from there and appears inside a lake. He says, this is a creek located somewhere. If you're going to transport me, at least transport me to a someplace normal. I have my smartphone in my pocket. I was given penalty points without any explanation. What an unfair game. Door is appearing in front of him. He says, what is that? Strange door. Door is opening. This is the end of the video. Subscribe for the next part. First watch the previous parts. Link is in the description. Lee sees the door and asks, what is this? Is this the monster I have to subjugate for this quest? System window pops up saying, the subjugation quest will begin in 10 seconds. Please prepare for combat. Lee says, 10 seconds. What am I supposed to do to prepare? Gate is opening. One monster came out from the door. That monster is also so much bigger than Black Best. His name is, Infected Paladin. Lee says, what the hell is that monster? I've never seen in the game. Monster is about to attack him. Lee is also getting ready to attack. Paladin attacks him but Lee uses his weapon to stop that attack. Lee thinks, even if I don't know what king of monster it is, I'm certain that a sword is its main weapon. If that's the case, Lee deflect his attack and attack him in his shoulder. Fortunately, it won't be too hard to conquer. Compared to beast and animal monsters that have irregular movements, humanoid monsters are straightforward and easy to read. I'll keep using skills to smoothly clear. Suddenly he notices something and says, "What's this? Why is my hand getting numb?" Monster attack him again, but this time he barely dodge it. He says, "Something's wrong. Something is blunting my body senses." Lee is about to get hit from the monster. He says, "Shit, skill, tenacity for revenge, activate. System. You cannot use that skill." He says, "What's this? I can't use the skill." Lee barely dodge his attack, but also took some damage because his head is bleeding. He thinks, my reflexes are getting slower, and I can't use my skill. Could this be paralysis? Damn it, that monster's normal attacks must have a paralysis attribute. Normally in that game, a paralysis damage icon would appear, so I was slow in noticing. What should I do? An Avenger's playstyle is to combine skills, so I have no way to win if my skill activation is blocked. No, stay calm and think. I did get paralyzed, but that monster's slow attacks are easy to dodge. So I just need to conquer it like I'm in an action game. And that's to use the meta by running after getting a hit in. Yeah, it'll take some time to clear this way, but it's the best to be safe. Monster is preparing his next attack. There is so much light surrounding the monster. Lee says, "I can't see. Was that aura just now a vision block attack? I need to increase the distance and wait until my sight recovers." But Monster is not giving him time and is about to use another attack. Monster gave Lee a punch and throws him away. Lee says, "Damn it. What should I do? What should I do?" Thankfully, my vision is gradually returning, but in no shape to attack because the paralysis damage from that blow. Shit, it would be great if a healer could heal me at a time like this. No, wait, Monster attack him, but he dodges the attack, and says, "If there's no healer, then I'll take another measure. I just need to use an item to heal the paralysis damage." System, the random boxes I got from tutorial rewards. Opening the remaining 2 for me. Now System is opening his remaining 2 boxes. He thinks, please, I don't mind if I don't get an amazing item. Just give me any useful item. He received 2 items. First item. Golden branch, beautiful branch, crows love them. Second item is, semi-lunar tear. Gem with a nice aroma, probably good to put in a bathroom. Lee thinks, these are way too useless. Monster attack him from behind. Lee is getting injured with all these attacks. He is holding on to those 2 useless items. He thinks, the items got from the random boxes are the golden branch and the semi-lunar gem. No matter how random it is, this is too much. Monster launches another attack on him. He is barely holding Monster's attack with his weapon. He thinks, the paralysis damages have overleaped, so I can't do anything but defend. What should I do? I'll really die at this rate. If only there was something like a store like in the game. He remember the time when System is telling him that only 10 seconds left until quest will begin, so prepare for combat. And he says, what am I supposed to do to prepare? He calls his System and asks, summon Crow using the golden branch. And open the combat preparation page. System says, yes, I understand. The golden branch will be used. So many crows get summoned there. Monster is getting distracted by these crows. Lee is holding on to something. Lee has used the combat preparation page and exchanged the semi-lunar tear gem for a paralysis medicine. Paralysis medicine usage. Monster attack Lee, but Lee is not there. Lee is behind him. He says, from now on, your attacks won't even hit me once. After all, I've accumulated enough damage to use my ultimate skill. Pavane for the dead. Monster is getting hit by so many red swords. Now Monster is on the ground after taking so many hits. Lee says, I cleared it. I really thought I was gonna die this time. It would have been dangerous if I didn't notice that there was a combat preparation page. System. Open the reward page quickly. I want to reset. System is opening the reward page. Lee thinks, Let's not choose the random box this time. Message window pop up saying, "Caution, another user has intruded." Lee says, "What? Another user? There are people doing the quests other than me." We see a person behind Lee holding a scythe. That person attack Lee, but he barely stop his attack with his skill, Devotion to Revenge Anti-Barrier. Lee thinks, what the hell? Why is he attacking me? Is he a monster? No, just from his appearance, he looks like a person. Person says, that skill just now, you're an Avenger class. A trash class. He run to attack Lee again. Lee stop his attack and asks him, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you attacking me? He replies, no idea. I don't know, since I've never thought of a reason for hunting in a game. He activate his skill, the Black Reaper comes. A big skeleton-like thing appear behind the boy holding a scythe. Thing attack Lee. Lee get hit from his attack and get injured. Lee is about to get attack. We see she use her skill, Labyrinth without exit. And stop his attack. Lee and that person are shocked. He thinks, this skill. AO tier defensive support skill. Class, Labyrinth Master. She says, this time, I didn't help you because of the earphones. So, pay for my lunch tomorrow. Buy me the world's most delicious strawberry milk. Boy run to attack her. But she stopped the attack with her weapon. She uses her skill, Trap of the Treasure-Keeping Magic Beast. Cage of Spike getting closed and boy is about to be inside that cage. Boy activate his skill, Ghost Walking. She says to Lee, dodge. Lee says, what? We see that boy is behind him. Boy uses his skill, Blacklist. We see blue lighting surrounding Lee. Lee get back and says, what the hell? I don't think anything's changed. She says, Lee, quickly open the reward page and pick a reward. The reward selection time limit doesn't count down when another user intrudes. So, the only way to end this quest is for you to choose your reward. Lee says, okay. Boy is going toward him to stop him while saying, do you think I would just watch you do that? Boy attack him but nothing happened to Lee. We all says, you must not have done enough skill research. The area where you're standing right now is the skill domain of where is set up the labyrinth without exit when I arrived. The labyrinth domain is full of barricades, illusions, and various traps. And it lasts for 90 seconds, you should do well to remember that. If you don't, then I'll kill you the next time we meet. System says, the return will begin. Boy says, bullshit, you're the one who'll die next time. Since I've memorized your faces, so, stay alive anxiously. Labyrinth Master and Trash Class. Lee is back. His phone is ringing. Weall is calling him. Lee pick up the phone and asks her, hey, what the hell is going on? Are you the same as me? She replies, wait a second. You must have a lot of things to say, but just go home for today. That blacklist skill you were hit by, it's a location tracking skill. So, for the 8 hours that skill lasts, just keep hidden. Though, I say location tracking, it's not as accurate as a GPS, so it'll be fine as long as you stay home. Lee says, then, she cut him and says, to keep it short, that guy earlier is APK user. They're people that instead of receiving rewards through quests, collect bones points through killing users. It's best if you don't go against them. If you don't want to kill people, that is. You must already know that you can't get through to those kinds of people. Anyway, let's talk in more detail tomorrow, since you'll be in danger tonight. Lee asks her, what about you? You were marked by that bastard after helping me. Won't you be in danger as well? She replies, that's a needless concern. I can protect myself just fine. Lee says, I know that. But I'm still worried that you'll get hurt. She says, so what? You want to stay together for the whole night or something? Lee replies, no, I didn't mean that. I just thought it would be good to act together now on. She says, that sounds like, you want to form a party with me. Lee says, a party. If we can do that in reality as well, that's fine with me. Since I can trust you. She asks him, Lee, is it okay for you to just trust some you only started talking to today? Lee asks her, is that how it work? She says, well, alright. What I wanted to tell you tomorrow isn't much different from what we just talked about. So after you hang up, text me your address. I'll be sleeping at your house tonight. This is the end of the video. Subscribe for the next part. First watch the previous parts, link is in the description. Lee is standing outside of his house waiting for Weall. Weall came to him and say, "Hi." They are entering the house. Lee asks her, "Are you really going to sleep in my house?" After that, they do some talking, we can skip that. She opens her system and says, "Send a party request to the user closest to me." Message window pop up in front of Lee saying, "User Weall has sent a party request to use Lee. Will you accept?" She says, "Let me tell you something before you decide. I will give you all the information that I have once we become party members. Of course, I will do my best to support you as well. In other words saying that I'll give you my everything. So, if you run away or betray me, I'll grind you with a mixer and make a smoothie out of you." Got it? Lee replies, "Yeah, got it." Lee accept her party request. She says, "We should start figuring out the strategy." Lee asks her, "A strategy? To fight the player kill user?" She replies, "That's part of it, but this is more important." She opens a message and shows that message to Lee. She says, "The large-scale event that no one knows the exact date of, Horizon. We're going to participate in this event. And think of a strategy to get first place." Lee says, "First place." After that, we see some players fighting with monsters. Players are not confident in defeating these monsters, and thinking they will die if they fight with those monsters. Toon is there, he says, "A mere trash." He thinks about the time when Lee defeats Wan. He says, "Skill, Dragon Killer activate. And defeat all the monsters with only one strike." He says, "Losers should act like losers, and stay crawling on the ground." Toon has advanced from Archer to Executioner. We see Lee, he says, "Event Horizon. What sort of an event is this?" She replies, "I don't know the details either. What I'm certain about is, that the first place gets 20 billion won. And gets one wish granted as a reward." Lee says, 20 billion, no, wait. Doesn't that wish grading part sound like too much a scam? She tells him, "At first, I thought that it was impossible too. 20 billion is quite an absurd amount of money in the first place, but think about it. About out experiences, we're already outside the realm of logic. Therefore, granting a wish might be possible. If not, then I can just ask for a simple wish to let me quit this game." Lee asks her, "Where did you get this information?" She tells him, "I got an invitation letter after clearing 10 quests. You'll probably get it once you clear 10 quests as well." Lee asks her, 10. How long have been doing these quests?" She tells him, "Since the winter break of my 3rd year of middle school, a total of 17. I almost died in around 5 of them." Lee says, "Since 3rd year of middle school, then around half a year." She says, "I'll tell you right now that I don't know how I changed or why these things are happening. I even went to into Hull that created VVR for an Egrosphere online, but I was treated like a crazy person." Lee asks her, "Did your parents say anything about your change?" She replies, "Oh, those people wouldn't even know if I disappeared and cut up into pieces. Also, I was already pretty so my appearance didn't change all that much, unlike you. If anything changed, it would be my hair color." Weall and Lee notices something. Lee asks, "What's that? Could it be the PK user?" Weall replies, "I think it was just noise, but I'll confirm it with my skill." Skill, Watchtower of the Labyrinth, erects an invisible watchtower. A big pink color towers appears around their house. She says, "There, this should do it. This skill can detect PK users as well, so I'll know if they invade." Lee asks her, "But if you use the skill, wouldn't they notice that we're in this building?" She replies, "This skill is invisible to the eye. Moreover, the Reaper class doesn't have any abilities that can detect this skill." Weall is treating the injury of Lee. She says, "Don't move until I say it's done. The skill will be cancelled if you do." Skill, Oasis in the Desolate Labyrinth. Lee's wounds are healing. She says, "It'll take some time to treat everything including your shoulder. I'm not a healer, and this is also a buff skill that increases your stamina." Lee asks from Weall, Why did you form a party with me? You already have the skills of high ranker, so there shouldn't be any benefit for you in partying with me. She replies, because I thought you'd be easier to order around since you were a loser before. She says, that was a joke. At first, I was planning on figuring out what kind of user you were. But I remembered something. Do you remember the Purgatory opening event? Lee replies, that slightly difficult raid event during our second year of middle school. She says, yeah, the one that not even 0.5% of users could clear all the challenge tasks. The hardest extreme difficulty event in history. At that time, I was supporting a guild as a mercenary. And there, I remembered meeting you in that place. While everyone helplessly being killed due to the absurd even difficulty, I remembered meeting you, running around the battlefield. Without ever giving up. So, I thought that I need him in my party since he's a game addict. Also, I yearned for it. For a conversation partner that I could reveal everything about myself to. You were frustrated too, right? That there wasn't anyone who recognized your alter account. We see one person fighting with monster. He uses his skill, Ancestor Punch, increases attack power by 3-fold thanks to the Ancestor's power. He hit the monster pretty badly. One girl is also with him. She uses her skill, Dare to Step Muddy Feet on the Queen's Abode, enemy defense reduction skill. And cut the monster's head. She says, alright, with this, it's 20 quest cleared. Her name is Sunga. Class, Queen's Guard. Boy says, it was too easy. His name is Ikeju. Class, Soul Fighter. Sunga asks him, let's pick status points as out rewards for today. Okay. He replies, okay. She says, something strange. Someone is using a skill nearby. Even though there's no quest. Shall we jump them? No, forget it. There's only 50 seconds left. And we don't know what kind of users they are. We'll just have to continue watching them to determine whether they'll be a blessing or a curse to our guild. Make the coordinates for now. Let's come back tomorrow to investigate. Lee and we all walking on street. She says, like we talked about last night, I'll choose the quests from now on, so you start studying skills to prepare for any PKs. Also, don't your skills needlessly, since the rewards will be bad if we get penalty points. Lee says, now that you mention it, the money that I chose as my reward last night disappeared. Was that because of penalty points? She says, yeah, 0.1 penalty point comes to about 10,000 won, so it all gets confiscated. Also, if you get dragged into a penalty quest, I, as your party member also get dragged in with you, so it's even more annoying. Lee says, yeah, I got it. I won't use my skills needlessly from now on. We all says, I'll gonna head to home to change. I'll see you later at school. Lee says, I have been wondering since yesterday, what will you wish for if you get first place in this even? She replies, build my own harem heaven filled with my favorite idols. Lee gets shocked. She says, of course, that a lie. If you do well on our next quest, I'll tell you then. Then I'll see you in a bit. Lee says, you said you would tell me everything. We see Sunga sitting on a car. She says, found you. Avenger and Labyrinth. Master. Judging from their uniforms, are they still students? She activate her skill, Queen's Guard unique passive skill, Queen's Realm without sunset. Can see the skills and specs of users and monsters within a short distance. She says, it was worth it to come out to look for them while people are on their work. We should have had to search around for the entire day if we were unlucky. Ikeju asks her, what do you want to do? Will you hunt them right now? She replies, no, there are too many eyes in the morning. Besides, they're not that important that we have to hunt with penalty points on the line. Also, they have classes that we don't have in our guild. As long as we don't know what kind of event Horizon is, we need to consider the possibility of recruiting them. Ikeju says, aren't they too young for that? Let's make them give up after giving them a scare by pretending to hunt them. She says, why does age matter? If they're skilled and follows instructions well, that's all that matters. And you never know, there could be a beast behind that innocent appearance. Put someone free in the guild on them. Let's observe what these kids are like. It's not too late to think about how to take care of them after that. Lee is walking alone. He thinks about studying skills. It should be fine to use Egrosphere Online's skill system as the background since they're the same. For now, Weal's Labyrinth Master. A dealer-type supporter. She has quite a lot of useful skills. Her trap-type skills will work well with an Avenger luring them in, and her buff skills can be used in tandem with an Avenger's counterattack skills to deal burst damage. Alright, it's a great matchup. We'll be fine as a duo. One person calls Lee and says, You're Lee from Haejong High School, right? He replies, yes, I am. He says, really? That's good. Then come with me for a bit. He is threatening him with knife saying, I have something to talk to you about. Now they are on empty floor of a large building. There are 4 people. Minho is also there. Lee thinks, I was wondering what this was about, but as I thought. Yellow hair guy asks Minho, is this the guy we need to beat up? He replies, yeah, that's right. Minho is shouting at Lee, don't even think about running. You'll only make it worse for yourself to run. Let's all go home after you get beat up for a bit. Okay, Lee thinks, what should I do? I can't use my skills, so do I need to outrun them? No, they'll just continue to torment me endlessly if I do. I'll just end it all here. Without using my skill, I'll take them on. This is the end of the video. Subscribe for the next part. Yellow hair guy run to attack Lee. Lee dodges his attack and gave him a punch on the face. After that black hair guy run to attack him. Lee hit him on the face with his knee. Lee thinks, good, it's doable. No matter how many come at me, they're still human. Compared to all the monsters I've fought up till now, this is no different from a trash mo. We don't need to overuse out skills like when we fought one-on-one last time. By using enough of the Avengers beginner spark, with sense of hunting down trash mobs. I'll get rid of this trash. They can't even hit Lee. Yellow hair guy asks Minho, what the hell is that bastard? He's hella good at fighting. Is that really the loser you guys were talking about? Minho says, this shouldn't be happening. Minho saw something. Lee is there beating everyone. Bro is not even trying at this point. Minho is behind him with a large steel pipe. Minho attack him with pipe, but he stopped the pipe using his wrist. Pipe gets destroyed. Lee hit him on the face. Now Minho is on the ground. Lee put his leg on him. Minho is angry and says, Lee you bastard, you think it'll just end like this? You're dead now you bastard. You got that. I'll call all the seniors I know and crush you. You got that, you loser. I'll definitely kill you for sure. Lee with angry look on his eyes says, try it, if you can. Lee is about to go, then we see that green shirt guy running toward him with knife. But nothing happened to Lee. We see Lee's sister. She is checking the groceries for today's dinner. She says, I've been busy recently so I wasn't able to cook for Lee. I'll take his nutrition and health into consideration and feed him well. I'm not sure what's happening but I'll be grateful as long he's not ill. Lee's sister sees Lee and asks him, why are you soaked in sweat? He replies, oh, it's nothing, don't worry about it. The other guys asked to play soccer together, that's why. She says, playing soccer made you sweat that much. It seems like you played for a pretty long time then. Lee says, playing for the first time in a while was fun. He thinks, the truth is, I sweat a lot trying to run away so she wouldn't see but. Anyway, what did you buy? Are we gonna eat this for dinner? Wow, pork belly. We're grilling meat today. His sister thinks, seeing him like that, his actions and speech are Lee's without change. Lee asks her, you're still unfamiliar with this appearance, aren't you? She asks him, did my expression give it away? Lee says, no, it's just, I thought you'd feel that way. Do you by any chance want me to go back to my original appearance? She replies, nope, I like you no matter what your appearance is. As long as you're well. Also, did you by any chance bring over a friend yesterday? Lee replies, no, why? She tell him, it's just because when I was cleaning this morning, there were long brown hairs that came out. It was too long to be my hair, and the color was also unique. That's why I thought it was your friend's. Lee can't say anything. She asks him to introduce that friend to me. Got it. He replies, yeah, alright. After that we see injured Minho. He took out his phone and says, Lee you bastard, I'll beat you to death. He is now calling someone. We see some people doing party. One person pick up Minho's call and says, hello. That person is Oon. Minho says to him, I think we have no choice but for you to step up. If we let this Lee bastard be, he'll definitely crawl up. So you should personally teach him. So he knows his place. Oon replies, alright with bad look on his face. Since I already had a reason to show him the difference between our levels. We see Weall. She asks Lee, let's go home together. Black hair girl asks her, wait what? Are you guys going somewhere? I wanna go too. Weall replies, sorry, we're not going anywhere. We need to talk about something serious, so. She asks them, something serious. Weall says, there's something like that. If it works out, I'll tell you later. Bye. Oon is there seeing Lee and Weall going out together. Weall and Lee are standing together drinking juice. She asks, should we just date? Lee asks her, why all of a sudden? She says, if we do that, then people won't bother us at school even when we're talking alone. Lee says, still don't you think lying about that is little? She says, if you don't want to lie then we can go out for real. How about it? Wanna try dating me for real? Lee says, if you say that out of blue, I'll need some time to think. She says, then we can about something else. Anyways, a quest request came in. Today at 12:30, it's 2-person suppression competition quest. Lee says, a team competition. That means that other users are participating as well. She says, yeah, but that makes the reward much better. On top of 20 million won, they give 12 status points. It's a chance for us to upgrade a lot. Lee says, but that means it's just that much more difficult. She says, probably, since we're competing with other users. Even if it's a 1 in a million chance, if a PK user gets in, an unavoidable battle royal will start. Lee thinks, I haven't worked with Weall as a duo yet, so I think a competition would be dangerous. She asks him, what do you wanna do? If you think it might be too dangerous then we can wait until a quest with a lower difficulty comes out. Lee says, no, let's try it. Based on my analysis of our skills, our combination can respond to any situation. There's no need to worry about PK players. Because if it comes to that, I can block them all out. She asks him, what up with you? Lee the loser is pretty confident today. Alright, then I'll see you at the quest location later tonight. Lee is standing on top of a building. Weall is also there. She asks Lee, how about this place? Do you know it? If we're familiar with the layout of the area then we'll have an advantage. Lee replies, no, I don't know it at all. That's why I was taking a look around the area. If we could at least find the black door it'll be easier to come up with a route. She asks him, black door? What are you saying? Lee tells her, you know the door the monsters spawn from. It looks rectangular like this. She asks him, what is that? I've never seen it before. Lee says, you've never seen it? That's weird. Do all monsters not come out through that door? Message window pops up saying, in 1 minute the quest will begin. Please get ready to battle. She says, let's talk about that later. We need to clear the quest right now. System. Open the battle preparation page. I'll install the healing items first, and should I buy an item for attack power buffs? Lee, do you need anything? You can buy stuff with money before the quest starts, so I'll buy for you. Lee says, then I'll get a healing item, and a speed buff item. She says, speed, alright, sure, I'll send it to you so check it out. 2 items appears on his inventory. Item number 1, the Virgin's Mary's X2. Recovers all defense and stamina stats. Tastes awful. Bitter things are good for your body. Second item, a Hunting Hawk's Feathers. Speed increases by 4 times for 5 seconds. You can sleep well if you touch it because it's so soft. She says, it's expensive. Repay me tomorrow with strawberry mild and sausage bread. System says, 1 minute has passed. Then, the quest is starting. We see a big monster. She says, it's out. Lee says, that's the monster famous for his speed. The Wolf of Speed, Waham. A gentle god tribe monster that will not fight if not attacked. Its main attack method is charging with its speed, tearing its enemy apart. She says, let's hurry up and chase it. If it's now, we can make the first move. Lee says, hold on, wait. If something goes wrong, we could get caught in the speed and be dragged around. There has to be another way. Alright, let's dig a trap. We can make a trap by using your skill at a dead end. Then I'll lure it into the trap by attacking it. She says, that plan involves making you the bait, isn't that too risky? Lee says, I'm prepared to get an injury or two. Plus, Avenger gets stronger by being attacked. Once you're done making the trap, message me and let me know. I'll bring them all that way. Lee is now going to attack the monster. She tries to stop him, but he didn't listen to her. She says, Lee that little, he has the audacity to do all the dangerous things alone. Lee thinks, the Wolf of Speed, among monsters, it's a tier 1 in speed but, its overall abilities aren't that strong. As long as we lure it into the trap like the plan, we'll be able to suppress it right away. One more player is running toward that monster. Lee says, that speed. Is it? The specialized speed class, Wind Rider user. His name is, Guri Wong. Class, Wind Rider. She says, I wonder, a knight. Or sword master. Well, it doesn't matter anyway, since they're all slow as hell compared to me. Lee says, damn it. She's fast. Is she using our difference in speed to get the upper hand? Then I can't just stand still either. Skill, revenge is for when foe is alive. She is so close to the monster. She says, found you, right place at the right time. Skill, Frost Wind Dagger. She make a cut on the face of the monster. She says, it's not over yet. Skill, Violent Storm Dagger. Monster get hit by so many attacks of her. For some reason monster stop at one place. She says, alright, it's been stunned, Yoonsung. Send it flying with your burst damage combo. Another person is there holding a shield. His class is Wall Builder, and name is Yoonsung. He uses his skill, Celestial Wall. Advent. Monster get hit by his attack. He says, and then, a combo skill follows. Skill, Tactical Rampart. Lee is here. She is shocked and says, what the hell? That sword guy, when did he catch up? Lee is using skill, Revenge is for when the foe is alive. I have around 20 defense right now. I have no way to catch up to it if I lose it here. I only have one chance. Skill, Vengeful Spirit Sword. Reduces defense to 0 for 5 seconds and increases critical chance dramatically. Lee attacked the monster pretty badly. He back away and says, shit, the attack went through, but it wasn't a critical hit. The critical chance must have decreased because Waham's high dexterity stat. She says, you sword bastard. What are you doing? How could you try to steal our kill and ruin our plan when we almost got it? Lee says, this is a competition, so how does that matter? She says, what? In any case, there's something called manners. How would you feel if someone killed a monster that you stunned? He says, now that I think about it, I did do something pretty spiteful. That wasn't my intention. Then, I'll be mindful of my manners next time. She gets angry and says, that arrogant prick. I wasn't done talking. Yoonsung says, let it go. Like he said, this is a competition. Getting in your opponent's way is part of the game. Therefore, we don't need to be mindful about manners either. Let's use the components of the game to our advantage. Skill, Sealed Stone Chamber of the Royal Family. He is catching Lee in a barrier to block him. He says, this is an emergency shelter barrier skill. He used a skill like this to block my way. Lee is struggling to get outside. He thinks, it won't work. Like though, this skill only reacts to outside attacks. Do I need to wait until the skill duration ends? No, it'll be too late by then. I'll use the Avenger's only penetrative damage skill, Red Thorns. Until the barrier breaks, Red Thorns can penetrate and impact the barrier from the outside. It'll take a long time since Red Thorns damage is low, but it'll still be quicker than waiting until the skill duration ends. I'll get out of here, and catch up to you. Barrier is breaking. He breaks the barrier. Lee gets outside and thinks, alright, that was much faster than I expected. With this, I can catch up to them in no time. Lee sees that the girl and boy are stunned. Lee thinks, what? Why are they standing still? It doesn't look like they're dead. Lee asks him, hey, what happened? Did you lose the monster? He is shocked and replies, no. I was sure that the monster was fighting against us until just now, but it suddenly disappeared. Lee asks him, what do you mean? We see monster is behind Lee. Lee thinks, is this a teleportation skill? Impossible. Waham in the game didn't have a skill like this. Waham attacked the boy. Boy is getting injured very badly because tooths of Waham are literally inside him. She activate her skill, Mega Typhoon Dance. After the user's attack speed is increased 4 times for 18 seconds, they become stiff for 5 seconds. She attacked the monster, but Waham disappeared from there before her attack even hit him. She says, where did he go? I'm so pissed off. Lee thinks, this is bad. I never expected a situation like this. If it has a teleportation skill, it'll just escape even if we make a trap for it. If that's the case, Weall is in danger. We see Weall. She says, alright, the trap is finished. Now I just need to wait for Lee. This is the end of the video. Subscribe for the next part. First watch the previous parts. Link is in the description. Players are doing quest and fighting with Waham. Lee thinks, if I can't deal with its teleportation skill, luring it into a trap is useless. I have to seal its teleportation skill before I lure Waham to where Weall is. Waham spit out Yunsung. Wong is angry. She says, damn it. I can't move because of the typhoon dance I used earlier. Waham run to attack her. Lee activate his skill, Devotion to Revenge, Anti-Barrier skill. And save her. She asks him, why are you saving me? Lee replies, I told you before. From now on, I'll be mindful of my manners. Waham get injured and now running away from them. Lee thinks, why is it running? Can't it just teleport away? Could it be because of damage accumulation? She says, shit, I could catch up immediately if my wind running skill wasn't on cooldown. Lee thinks, cooldown time. That's right, that bastard's teleportation skill also has a cooldown. We all message Lee that the trap is ready. Lee says, then, let's make a deal. She asks, about what? Lee says, I'll give you this panacea, so please give me your support. She says, panacea? Isn't that some common item you can just buy with money? You think you can make a deal with me with something like that? Yunsung is very injured. She goes toward him and asks him, are you alright? You're not done in, are you? Lee asks, you don't have a recovery item, do you? If you had one, you wouldn't have been flustered and used Typhoon Dance when your partner was bitten by Waham. I don't like playing around with people's lives. But since my life is also on the line, I can't just give you this item. I also have a party member that I want to protect. So, that's why I'm making you a deal. In exchange for this item, support me in my strategy. She says, but this is a competition quest. Yunsung says, let's help him. This is a game with our lives on the line. Competition's good, but getting out of this alive is more important. So let's try working together with him. Cooperation is one of the components of a game. She says, alright, but if that plan involves us getting injured, forget it. Lee says, you don't have to worry about that. This strategy puts me in the most danger, after all. Wong is sitting on the building. She thinks, the first part of this strategy, lure fishing. Like that sword guy explained, just keep its aggro on me by pretending to hunt it, and lure it to the 3-way where the second part of the strategy will begin. That's all I have to do. Waham is right in front of her. She says, found you. Then, let's get started. Skill, Whirlwind Dagger. After using that skill on Waham, she thinks, alright. Its aggro is on me. Since he might counterattack using teleportation if I attack any more than this, I'll move straight away to the strategy area. Skill, Wind Running. She is running away from there. Waham is following her. She thinks, fortunately, he's just running after me without using teleportation. Then the second part of the strategy. Forcing him into a corner. Yunsung is about to attack him. Skill, Wall of the Centurial Kingdom. With this, I've blocked all other means of escape. I've prepared the perfect battleground. And now, the final part of the strategy. Punch Hunting. Lee uses his skill, Grudge-Bearing Flower, multiple attack skill. And attack Waham with it. He thinks, obviously, the hunt won't end with this much. While hunting Waham in the game, it took a while to kill it since attack didn't go through properly due to its high dexterity. Therefore, to efficiently hunt Waham, we need to lure Waham to Weal's trap and lower its dexterity, no matter what. But before that, I have one job. To make Waham use its teleportation skill and make it go into cooldown. From what we experienced a while ago, it can only teleport consecutively twice. In other words, as long as we manage to hand 2 of its teleportation attacks. Lee attack Waham with his weapon. He says, we can kill it. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. The more I get hurt, the stronger I get. Skill, revenge is a raging fire. We see 2 people observing Lee fight. One of them says, what's he doing? Is he thinking of trapping Waham and fighting it by himself? Isn't the getting pretty interesting? Second person says, stop messing around and observe him properly. Like the guild leader said, we have to confirm whether or not he's a user who can open the back door. Lee is using his skill, his revenge is a raging fire. Health is reduced by 18% every time you attack with 2.5 times attack power. He thinks, now, the first attack. Waham take his first attack head on. He again uses the same attack, but this time Waham use his teleportation skill. Lee thinks, teleportation, alright. 1 use left. It's all going according to plan. Since I don't know how Waham will attack next, I have no choice but to rely on luck a little. Now, come, I won't take a step from here, so, hurry up. And draw your fangs. Waham appears behind him. He says, it's here. Waham bite Lee. Lee uses his skill, flower that blooms at sunset. Alright, it bit me. I was waiting for this. Ultimate skill, Pavane for the dead. So many swords are about to hit Waham. But he uses his teleportation skill. Lee thinks, it's gone. The plan is a success. It used up both of its teleportations. What left is, Waham is standing right in front of Yunsung and Lee. Waham got hit from the 2 swords from before. Waham is running away. Lee thinks, Waham is running towards Weal's trap. The plan hasn't failed. Our party will win as long as I finish off Waham in the trap. Wong is running toward Waham using her skill, wind running. She says, since I helped you out with your plan, I'll be taking the final blow. This is a competition after all. Don't be too disappointed. Lee says, I'm not disappointed, since we're going to win anyway. He used 2 items, Panacea and Hunting Hawk's Feather. Fill my defense completely using Panacea, and increase my speed using Hunting Hawk's Feather. And above that, the skill that increases my speed further at the cost of defense. Activate. Revenge is for when the foe is alive. Lee is running so fast, even faster than Wong. Lee found Waham trapped in Weal's trap. Weal trap skill, Field Trap, obsessively sticky labyrinth, reduces target's defense and dexterity until it escapes the field. Lee says, I don't even need to use my skill. According to my calculations, Weal should also be using an attack buff skill. She says, good. Labyrinth Master skill, Draconic power permeating the labyrinth, attack buff skill. Lee attack Waham and finally kill him. He says, that was close. I would have gotten the final blow stolen from me if it wasn't for the speed buff item. Weal asks him, how did you know? Did you buy a speed buff item, knowing that this quest was going to be a battle of speed? Lee replies, of course I didn't know that much. I never thought a Wind Rider would appear as one of the opponents. I just thought that the only way I could support you when you were in danger was to run to you as fast as I could. That's why I said I needed a speed buff item. She says, you're so needlessly meddlesome, but since we cleared the quest thanks to your meddlesome attitude, I guess I can praise you. Message window pop up saying, Lee and Weal, congratulations. You have achieved first place in the competition quest. Also, because you cleared the hidden quest within 45 minutes. You will be given 3 high-grade item boxes as a reward. The assessment results and ranks are as follows. Total 3 teams participate in this quest, and Lee and Weal team is first. Lee says, I haven't seen any users other than the Wind Rider team. Was there another team hiding somewhere? We see those 2 people again. Green Hair Boy says, not bad, the Avenger has good sense, and the Labyrinth Master has the basics down to a T. Orange Hair Guy says, all they did was subjugate one Waham. This doesn't tell us whether or not they have enough skills for us to recruit them to the guild. Green hair guy says, that would be true if it was a regular Waham. But this one was a unique type that could teleport. Considering the number of people in our guild who died because of unique types, I think their performance was exceptional. I'll give the Labyrinth Master 9,229 points, and the Avenger 9,879 points. Orange Hair Man says, what the hell is that score? I can't even tell whether that's good or bad. He says, of course, it's out of 10,000 points. You give them score as well. Orange Hair asks him, what's with that range? I'll hold off on scoring them for now. I'll decide after I see this fight that's about to occur. He says, fight. The quest is already over, though. Orange Hair says, no, it's not over yet. PK user is coming. Window from where they can choose reward is in front of them. Lee asks Weall, which reward are you gonna choose? Since you wanted to upgrade, are you gonna choose status points? She says, no, I'm gonna choose money. I'm going to buy a time difference generator. Lee says, time difference generator. Isn't that a tier 1 item auctioned at high price? Because it's so hard to obtain even in the game. She says, yes, since you can reverse time of one object with it, it can be used effectively while fighting an opponent who's difficult to deal with, or when you receive a serious injury. In other words, it's like playing a game with 2 lives. Lee says, true, since we're playing on hardcore mode where it's all over if you die once, it'll take at least the edge off if we know we have another life. Wong and Yunsung came to them. She says, we lost. A total defeat. I thought I was gonna get the last hit and win, but I guess we were completely outplayed at the end. Weall asks Lee, who are they? Lee replies, they're the party that we competed with, we cooperated a little. Yunsung says to Lee, thanks for your help. We were at least able to get the second place prize instead of dying. So I would like to add you to my friend list. Will you accept my request? System. You can check the class, status, and whether they are in the middle of a quest of whoever is on your friend list. Weall says, if it's only adding them to your friend list, then it's fine. But don't hope to get into a collaborative relationship with us, since we still don't know what kind of people you are. Yunsung says, you don't have to worry about that. We're not doing this because we want something from you guys. We're just enjoying this game like it's some kind of sport. Yunsung is about to send him a friend request. Message appears saying, caution, another user has intruded. This is the end of the video, subscribe for the next part. First watch the previous parts, link is in the description. After receiving a message for caution, we see a player in front of them. Everyone says, a PK user. Yunsung activate his skill, Wall of the Millennial Kingdom. He says, I'll block him, so hurry and choose your reward. If you don't then that Lancer. PK user break the shield and attack Yunsung. Wong is behind him with 2 knives. She is about to attack him. But he activate his skill, Lancer Tactics, Chapter 5. Flood of Spears, Human Wave Tactic. We see some blue color puppets appear. They attack her and make her injured. Lancer is so close to attack her. She thinks, what the hell? Why is he so fast? A Lancer caught up to a Wind Rider specialized in speed. You bastard, how much a veteran you are. Lancer is trapped. Weall says, that's right. I forget I laid a trap there as well. You really watch your step when you're fighting. No, should I tell you to watch your head? Lee is about to attack him. Lee is buffed due to Weall's skill. Lee cut Lancer's hand. Lancer is running away from there. Lee says, Weall, use your skill to treat others. Weall says, what? Wait, you're not thinking of chasing him, are you? Lee replies, he might attack us again pretending to have run away. I'll keep marking him, and stall as much time as possible for you to treat them until the return time is up. She says, no, you might be killed if you make a mistake. So, if you're gonna fight, then don't just clumsily stall some time, and completely wipe the floor with him with the thought of crushing him. And if you return safely, I'll tell you my wish like I told you before. Okay, Lee replies, okay. Now Lee is chasing that Lancer. Lee find him sitting on the street, look like he is waiting for Lee. He says, like I though, you followed me. Avenger. Lee attack him again. Lancer gets injured. Lee says, to be honest, I don't want to hurt anyone, no matter who the opponent is. However, I can't see trash like you, who hurt other people as a person, no matter how hard I try. So, choose. Will you run away and quietly live your life as a normal person? Or, will you fight and be subjugated as a monster? He says, I had my hopes up after you severed my arm without hesitation. But as I thought, you were just a dweeb who only puts on airs. Lancer is preparing his attack. Lee thinks, that item is a time difference generator system. Also, the time difference generator will turn back time. A little more, to the point, where the Lancer activated a field skill. Lee thinks, this is the field skill, one-on-one. This bastard. He wasn't fighting thoughtlessly, but even had a plan B like this. Lancer says, now then, with my 2 hands, shall I pierce you for real? Lancer run to attack Lee. He says to Lee, what are you doing? You're so selfish after all the talk. You thought that you could cut off one of my arms with this. Lee thinks, because of the effects of this one-on-one skill, my dexterity and attack power have decreased. Moreover, he's fast enough to compete with a Wind Rider. A fight with someone like this, it's game over if I let my guard down even a little. Lancer activates skill, Halberd, and attack Lee with his new weapon. Lee is bleeding from his head. He thinks, what happened? I blocked it, but I still received damage. Halberd and one-on-one don't have defense ignoring fixed damage effects. Could this be? Lancer gave him another attack. The special effect of a totem item. This bastard, his base stats are good, and his sense for using skills and items is excellent. He must have played like this for a long time. A master of PK. If that's the case, now Lee is doing something to attack Lancer. Lancer says, what's with you? You can't win in speed, so you're going to fight by closing the distance. Sloppy. 2. Sloppy. You think you can survive with such sloppy skills? Lancer activate his skill, Lancer Tactics, Chapter 1. Spear Howl, Focused Attack. He attack Lee with the spear. How was that? You got smashed to bits, right? You got shattered into little pieces, right? You loser. Lee is still fine. Lancer says, what's this? You can't beat me, so now you're running away. No, you can't. You're sloppy even while running away. Lancer skill, Lancer Tactics Chapter 2. Spear Judgment, Javelin. He throw his spear towards Lee. Lee stop the spear with his weapon. Lee's skill, Perseverance, Damage Absorption. It's as I expected. I knew he was going to use Javelin if I tried to get out of 1-1's field. My opponent is a master of PK. If that's the case, it's obvious that he'll use standard skill combinations. So if I see through that and use Perseverance to absorb the damage, I can supplement the nerfed attack power caused by one-on-one. Lee is getting ready to use his attack. Skill, Eye for an Eye, skill linked to the Perseverance. Can imitate 80% of the skill the user was attacked by once. I can't dodge something like a fixed damage effect, but in exchange, I'll return what I received. Lancer skill, Spear Judgment. Lancer get hit by Lee's attack. Lancer says, you fucking bastard. Ultimate skill, Rush of World Conquest. Penetration damage effect and attack power increases by 270% for 18 seconds. You're dead now, you loser. Lee is getting very injured. He says, how is it? Hurts like hell, right? I'll pierce through you for real this time. Run away, if you can. Lee says, 1 second. The one-on-one skill duration is about to end. Lee says, the one-on-one skill duration time is 200 seconds. Taking into account some minor differences, that's more than enough time. More than enough time to be confident enough, not to lose to you even in a nerfed state, that is. Lancer says, what the hell are you talking about, you loser? Lee says, it's no use. Without nerfs or handicaps, you're no match for me. Lee attack him very badly. Lancer is on the ground. Lee says to him, don't even think about taking out a recovery item. You should already know if you've played the game. The difference in our skill isn't something that you can overcome with just a few items. Why are you doing something like this? Even if you call it PK, this isn't a game, but reality. It's murder. What do you have to gain from doing something like this? Even rewards. Or is it just fun to torment others? Lancer replies, optimistic bastard, do your family member recognize your face? My entire life was taken away from me. After I turned into my game avatar, my friends, my family. No one recognizes me. I'm no difference from being dead, so why the hell would I care about whatever I do? I don't need shit like quests or events. I don't know why this happening, but I'll destroy it all. I'll put an end to all of this. Someone attack him from behind. We already seen that thing before. Reaper is here. He says, I thought you'd be dead by now, but I'm surprised you're still alive. Trash class. System says to Reaper, you have absorbed half the status points and items of the user that you killed. Reaper says, you're next, Avenger. Lee asks him, are you the same? Are you also just killing people out of spite, because you lost everything in your life because of this game? Reaper asks him, what the hell are you talking about? I don't have a reason for hunting. I believe I told you this before. Whether it be reality or in a game, I just do whatever it takes to win. Reaper runs to attack Lee. Lee thinks, this Reaper, he's faster than when I fought him before. Did he upgrade during that time? Lee uses his skill, Red Thorns. Reaper gets angry. Something appear behind the Reaper. That thing attack Lee. Lee barely dodged the attack and thinks, unbelievable, this isn't a Reaper class skill. We see a girl, she says, I missed. Though the aim was good. I guess I was a bit too excited and made a mistake. That girl is a necromancer. One more player appears, he says, what the hell are you talking about? This isn't the first time. Your skills are just shit. You loser. She get angry and says, you wanna die, you piggy. Lee thinks, Butcher, what's with these guys? Are they on the Reaper's side? Reaper put his side in front on Butcher. He asks him, what are you doing? Reaper replies, that's my line. I told you I'd kill you if you get in my way. Butcher says, don't misunderstand. We were only here to capture the Lancer that escaped and met by chance. I don't plan on stealing your prey. Not laying hands on each other's prey was the condition on our alliance after all. Why don't you at least let us assist you? We also want to kill that Avenger since he took our job. Reaper says, do as you like. Since I'll be the one to cut his head off. Reaper attack Lee. Lee barely stop his attack. Necromancer uses her skill, Bone Needles. Lee stop her attack with his skill. Now Butcher is so close to attacking him using his skill, Relaxing Slaughter, critical hit. Necromancer says, he's dead. We see that green hair guy from before. He saved Lee from Butcher's attack. He says, I never thought that I'd have to fight in my pajamas, so embarrassing. But still, wasn't my superhero landing just now super cool? Lee says, this skill and weapon, could it be the rare class that only 3 people in our country have, Dragon Slayer? He says, yeah, correct. You have a very good eye. Class, in Yggdrasphere Online, excluding the 2 starting classes that you choose when you make your character, the advancement classes are decided by the user's main weapons and skills, their status point distributions, and story quests. For example, if you chose Warrior as your starting class, you can advance to either a Butcher or Sword Master depending on the weapons and skills you use. Because they are decided by the user's playstyle, the class possibilities are endless, and people have already figured out the growing method for 84 classes. Among the many classes, the advancement conditions and growing methods of Dragon Slayer and some others classes are not well known, so they are called rare classes because not many users possess them in the entire world. Dragon Slayer says, though I do have a class that's rare, aren't you the same? Not many people choose a difficult class to handle like an Avenger. Let's save the chit-chat for later. Since I came to help you, I should do my job. The job of wiping out these insects. Butcher says, watch out. He's gonna use a wide area stun skill. Dragon Slayer activate his skill, Dragon Silence. After using the skill, he says to Lee, that's good enough. Choose your reward now. Lee asks, what? He says, choose your reward and end the quest. It'll be hard to fight these chaos bastards for real with only the 2 of us. Lee says, but my friend and the others are. Still, he says, don't worry about them. My monk comrade is treating them with his blessing skill. So don't worry and choose your reward. The quest will be over the moment you choose your skill. Reaper's summons is about to attack Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer is shocked and thinks, what? The Reaper's skill, he must have used a skill before he was stunned. But his partner Monk saved him using the skill, Demon Crushing Palm. Weall is here, she says, the people are all healed. So you can rest assured and end the quest. Lee says, okay. Lee asks them, woe are you people? Why are you helping us like this? He says, I forgot to tell you. We're Raison, Guild Raison, and we'll be meeting again very soon. Since my partner give you guys a perfect score. This is the end of video, subscribe for the next part. First watch the previous parts, link is in the description. We see Sunga, someone is calling her. She pick up the phone and says, hey, Hyanseeing. Did things go well last night? Hyanseeing replies, yes, thought there were some unexpected events, we monitored them properly. She asks, what do you think of them? Do you think they are useful? Hyanseeing tells her, yes, I judged them together with Wuying, and we agreed that both the Labyrinth Master and Avenger can pull their weight. Moreover, that Avenger, he has zero sense of fear for high-risk battles. It looked like he faced dangers not only in the game, but in real life as well. She says, in short, he's a wild beast. Hyanseeing says, yes, not only that, he has good basic sense, so I believe he will be exceptional in item usage and strategy. So do not hesitate to recruit them. Before they get stronger and start to oppose us. She says, okay, I'll set up a date and meet those kids. Wuying says to Hyanseeing, you sure like kids who play hardcore mode, don't you? Hyanseeing says to Sunga, I have one more thing that I need to let you know as well. Chaos has started to move again. She says, is that info something that you can guarantee? He replies, yes, I'm certain. So it look like, we'll have to prepare for a guild battle. She says, a guild battle. Okay, I will prepare that with IKJU. You tell the others. She cut the call and says, those damn chaos bastards, they're like horny beasts who can't read the atmosphere. It can't be helped, since they bared their fangs, there's no other choice but to hunt them. After that we see a man, I think someone catch him and tied him with the magical rope. IKJU is standing in front of him. Sunga came and asks IKJU, has he talked? IKJU tells her, no, even after we woke him up from the deep sleep skill and kept him awake for 100 hours, he's still not talking. It seems like he's prepared to die. She says, is that so? Then it can't be helped. She hit him and throw him on the ground. She says, now, I'll be explaining the rules, so listen carefully. From now on, I will keep stabbing until you're on the verge of death, then heal you using a recovery potion. Each time you're healed you will have a chance to talk. I currently have 5 recovery potions. In other words, you have 5 chances to talk. If you answer out questions during that time, you clear the game. If you don't, then it's game over. There are only things we want to ask. One is the location of Chaos's base of operations, and the other is the personal information of your boss that leads Chaos. Okay, she is looking at him with a very dangerous look. I think that she is not even going to think before killing him. He shout, I don't know. I don't know things like that. I'm at the bottom of the ladder. I've never even seen our boss. She says, it's useless even if you say that. There are no exceptions to the game's rules. Now, shall we start the game? I was just about getting bored since there haven't been any good quests lately. Shall I try killing you with the skills I don't regularly use? No, using a deadly poison item sounds fun too. Boy is shouting with pain. After that we see Lee and Weall in the school. Lee asks Weall, I wonder what kind of people the Raison Guild is made up of. They didn't look like bad people. She says, the Guild Raison is one of the top 3 guilds in the game. They're large enough to have 800 guild members, and it's been around for quite a long time. Raison only did ordinary activities such as raids and guilds battles in the game, but that doesn't mean the Raison we met will be the same. Considering the horizon even is on the line, they might be doing other activities different from the game as well. Lee says, true, people go crazy when money is on the line. She says, yeah, so let's keep our difference from them and watch from afar. Oon sees Lee. Oon asks Lee, come with me for a second. We need to talk about something. Weall says to Oon, what's with you? What the hell do you have to say to him after all that? Oon says to her, don't interfere, Weall. This is for Lee ears only. Lee agrees to go with him. She asks Lee, "What are you doing? You're really gonna follow him?" Lee replies, "I'll at least hear what he has to say. He says he has something to says, so it'd be weird if I just ran away. Even if something like that happens, I can easily handle it now. Don't worry, I'll call you once I'm done." Lee and Eun are in the place where no one else is watching them. Lee asks Eun, "What did you want to talk about?" He says, "Did you hear that Won was seriously injured and was admitted to the hospital after his fight with you?" Lee is shocked and says, "The hospital? No, that's the first time I'm hearing of it." Eun says, "He had fractures or something, so he was admitted for a while. Now he's recovered to an extent and he's fine, but the problem is that because what you did, his parents are planning to suing you." Lee is shocked and says, "Sue? But that was a fight between two of us, and he didn't make a huge issue of it back then." Eun says, "That was because he was preparing to become athlete. He didn't report it to the police since though it may cause problems to his career, but it seems like he changed his mind for some reason. Since it's been several weeks, I don't know what the police will do about it, but it's fact that it will be bad for you if they start investigating this incident. At the least, you could be expelled. And at the most, you'll be arrested." Weall is hiding there and listening everything. Eun says to Lee, "But it's not like there isn't a way for you to get out of this. The place where Won's parents went to receive legal advice is the law firm that my father owns." Lee says, "Law firm? Then does that mean a lawyer affiliated with your father is in charge of my case?" Eun replies, "That's right. That's why there is a way for you to still get out of this mess. I can persuade the affiliate lawyer to get Won's parents not to press charges against you, and push it into a direction where they come to an agreement with you to resolve the case peacefully." Lee asks, "An agreement? And what exactly do I have to do for that to happen?" Eun replies, "It's simple. I can just put in a good word to my father. So you got to Won right now and apologize to him on your knees." Lee is remembering the time when Won used to bully him while saying, "Apologize." To Won, Eun says, "It's simple. You just need to apologize. If you do, I'll persuade Won and help you resolve this incident peacefully. And it's not like you were completely in the right either. The fact that Won was injured and was admitted is your fault." Lee says, "My fault?" Eun looks at Lee and thinks, "Yes, Lee. That kind of face suits you best. Your face stained with a sense of defeat, caused by your frustration from the injustice. That face you have whenever you were with me, suits the best on someone of your level. No matter how strong you are or how good you are at fighting, there's nothing you can do about this. In society, if you don't have power nor money, all you can do is apologize for nothing that you did nothing wrong in. You're just a loser." Lee says to Eun, "Tell him that he can go ahead and sue me. I don't feel like apologizing to Won. Not even a single speck. Moreover, Won not only tormented me, but he even tried to strike Weall, who was trying to help me. I can bear anything, but that's unforgivable. I can endure it when I'm the one suffering, but I will not forgive anyone who harms others because of me. So tell him that if he wants to sue me, then sue me. No matter what happens, I won't back down from this." Eun says, "Do you mean you don't care about what come up in the investigation results?" Lee says, "No, I'm saying that if you're going to come at me like that, then I won't avoid it either. In the end, if they start looking for the cause of the incident, not only me, but Won will have no choice but to tell them everything that he's done to me. You of all people should know who that will be disadvantageous for. That's all I have to say. Whether we go to court or to an agreement, I won't back down." Eun asks Lee, "Then what will happen to your sister? If the police got involved, then your sister will find out that you've been getting harassed. I wonder if your sister will be able to handle the truth. Though she became an orphan all of a sudden, she did her absolute best to let her little brother have a decent life. But it turned out that he was an outcast. If she comes face to face with that harsh truth, even if she's a strong-willed person, wouldn't she crumble into little pieces?" Lee is getting angry. He says, "So you knew it all about our family circumstances?" Eun replies, "Isn't it obvious? We always went to the same schools, after all." Lee grabs Eun from collar and asks him, "Then why? Why did you do nothing until now? You knew in my sister's circumstances. So why did you only watch from the sidelines? You could have stopped anyone from harassing me. You were in that kind of position. Oon asks him, why do I have to do something like that? Lee says, we weren't like this in the past. We were friends. You could have felt sorry for me. And helped me, don't you think? If anything, at least for my sister. Oon says, no, I've never thought of you as my friend. Not even once. Think about it. How could someone like you possibly become my friend? I have many things, but aren't you an orphan who doesn't have parents? We're on different levels. Don't misunderstand. After I played with you a bit 'cause I was bored. Oh, right, we all probably thinks the same way. Since she also has many things, and was fed with a golden spoon all her life. The reason she's playing with you is probably because she found a toy that she wants to play with. So I honestly couldn't possibly give less of a shit whether the like of you get hurt or not. You and your sister are nothing more than orphans who have nothing to gain. No matter how hard you struggle, you're both such worthless lives, that I can't even see you from how high up I am. Lee get very angry and hit Oon on the face. Lee says, I actually thought that you just associated with some bad people for a bit. But that doesn't seem to be the case. In the end, you were associating with the same kind of trash as yourself. Oon says, so what? You want an apology or something? Oon run to hit Lee. Lee says, no, I don't need something like that. And hit Oon on the face again. Oon is on the ground. Lee says, I don't want an apology from someone like you. I'll get even with you no matter what. Someday, I'll be the one to look down on you. From a height much higher than you. After saying that, Lee leave the place. Weall is talking to Lee. She says, sorry, I followed you because I was worried, and I ended up hearing everything you said. It sounded like a sensitive topic. I'm sorry I eavesdropped. Lee says, no, it wasn't anything to apology. It's not even that amazing story. I'm just embarrassed that I trusted someone like Oon. She asks him, were you that close with him? Lee tells her, when we were young, we went to the same elementary and middle school. In elementary school, we played together nearly every day after school was over, so we were practically best friend. But starting from middle school, after he started get along with the popular kids, a rift started between us. She says, and then he started harassing you. Lee says, at first, he brought me around as if to let me hang out with the popular kids, but in the end it became like that. She says, don't feel too guilty about it. The preparation is the bad one. What does the victim have to feel bad for? The betrayer should be the one to feel guilty, not the one who trusted the betrayer. After that, we all call Lee for ramen to her house. After that, we see Necromancer and Reaper. Also Butcher. Butcher says, we're here. Good work for coming all this way. Reaper's eyes are covered and his hand are stuck with magic, so he can't move his hand, like he has handcuff. Reaper says, I get it, so take off this bandana and restriction skill. I have to take a good look to that boss of you chaos bastards with my own 2 eyes. Butcher says, sorry, I can take off the bandana, but not the restriction skill. Since you have tons of bothersome skills, after all. Reaper says, you coward, that's different from what you promised to me. You said the restriction skill would be only until we reach you damn base. Someone says, release him. He's come all this way, so if he's in handcuffs, we won't be able to have some tea face to face. Reaper says, though I don't plan on drinking something like tea, I guess you are the boss since we're actually getting somewhere. The leader of Chaos, Class, Emperor, I've always wanted to meet you at least once. To see what you look like. Boss says, what a coincidence. I've wanted to see you very much as well. Hong Kiho. Reaper name is Kiho. This is the end of the video. Subscribe for the next part. First watch the previous parts, link is in the description. Chaos Boss is drinking tea with Kiho. Boss asks him, are you really not going to drink the tea? I prepared some high quality tea after I heard that you were coming today, what a shame. The scent of the tea leaves gradually disappears each time the lid is opened, so tea that you value isn't used very often. Kiho says, I don't need those tea leaf scraps. Just tell me why you called me here. Boss says, as for why, what if I told you I just wanted to have a chat while having some tea with an ally? Kiho took out his weapon and says, stop spouting bullshit and just tell me what you want, before I get pissed off and demolish your base. If not, then should I break off out alliance and kill you first? Boss laugh and says, you really do, you thoughtlessly pounce on anyone, just like I've heard. You're the epitome of a cliché villain. Kiho, I like people like you very much. Villains like you entertain me by creating a story within this boring world. Kiho asks him, is that all you want to say? He replies, well, if you don't like this kind of banter, shall we start getting to know each other more while we discuss business? Oshung High School, 2nd year, Class 3, Murderer Kiho. Kiho gets shocked after hearing that. He run to attack the boss, saying, I'll kill you bastard. Boss laugh and says, I really do like you. You even have a dark past, what a classic villain. However, that's still not enough. Boss uses his skill, kneel. Kiho is feeling some pressure, that why he can't move. Kiho thinks, what this is this skill? Why can't I muster any strength? Boss says, a truly great villain is supposed to have an ambitious plan. That's different from others' ideologies. A plan so noble that it can destroy the plan of others in an instant. Do you understand what I'm saying? No matter how good you are at player kill or using skills, you're just part of that game's system in the end. You're like a villain that's standing in line to vote. Can you imagine how stupid and laughable that is? Now then, about the business I called you here for, I would like to request something of you. If you accept the request, I will teach you how to open the back door as a reward. We see doors appearing behind him. Boss tells him, it's the power to surpass the system. Aren't you enticed by the sweetness of this deal? I don't mind if you refuse after listening to the contents of the request, but I'd advise you to answer as quickly as possible. The scent of the tea leaf I value don't last very long. After that we see Weal and Lee. Lee is on the house of Weal. She says, I'm gonna change, so make yourself comfortable. Lee says, okay. Her house is so big. Lee take a look at her house and thinks, it's like those houses you see in dramas. He sees a picture of Weal family. He says, was it taken back in middle school? She had short hair back then. So she was an only child. I thought she would have siblings. Weok asks Lee, how many pack of ramen do you want? He replies, it's the two of us, so 4. She says, okay. Lee thinks, we've only talked about the game when we were together, and I've never asked her anything about herself. Just thinking about it, why would a girl who lives in such a massive house risk her life playing the game? What could she possibly be thinking about? After eating ramen, Lee says, that was so good. Ramen is always good no matter when we eat it. She says, right. Lee asks her, when are your parents coming home? She replies, I wonder. They're always home late, so I'm not sure. Lee asks her, then, you don't have someone like a maid that lives here and cook for you? She replies, wanna die. I don't have anyone like that, you idiot. You think we're some noble family you see in movies that orders servants around. Lee says, I'm surprised. I thought that you'd be together with your family in the evening while other people would do the housework for you. So I never imagined you washing dishes. She says, don't say things like that. I'm not that kind of person. Just because I have money. I've never thought of you as some toy that I want to play with either. Lee thinks, I see, I was wondering why she was being so nice to me. She was bothered by what Oon said earlier. Lee says, I've never even once thought that you would do something like that to me. From what I've seen, you're not that kind of person. After that we see Oon. He meet his dad. His dad says to him, perfect timing. Take this. Your grandmother made this for you. Oon take that bag and says, why did you come give me something like this directly? You usually get the housekeeper lady to do it. His dad says, I was passing by, so I thought I'd visit. I was also curious about your like living alone. But what's with your face? Did someone hit you? Oon says, it's nothing. His dad says, as I thought, like mother like son. Oon, I don't expect much from you. But don't ever make me have to bow to someone. Understood? Oon says, yes, I understand. He says, also, since it's only the first semester of your first year, just let me know if want to transfer schools. I'll look into some good schools. Or go study abroad. What the hell are you doing in some embarrassing backwater public school? If you're the son of an elite, act like one. Okay, Oon. Un is holding his anger and says, "Okay, father." We see Un is wearing his VR. His nose is bleeding. Inside the game he is killing monsters. He notices one player and point his bow toward him. That player says, "Please don't shoot. I'm not a monster. I'm a human." Un put his weapon back. That player says, "You scared me. Anyway, you're so skilled. You killed an ogre in the cursed forest that takes 5 people to kill, all by yourself. You're so amazing. I heard the ogre subjugation quest rewards are super good as well." Un asks him rudely to shut up. "I don't want to talk to you, so shut up. Do I have to tell you twice for to understand?" He gets scared and says, "Look like you've had a bad day." Then, "Please excuse me. I'm sorry I bothered you. This player had some evil intentions," he says, "you though that's what I was gonna say. But actually I'm gonna take all your stuff, you arrogant piece of shit." He tries to attack Un. But Un stop him using his arrows. Un use his skill, Executioner Stun Attack. He gets very injured due to Un arrow attack. Then Un use his skill, Executioner Ultimate, Guillotine Robespierre. That player get very scared and begging him to stop his attack. He says, "If you kill me here, you'll become a PK user too. And receive a penalty." Un says, "So what? Die." Un kill him. System says to him, "Due to attacking a user, you are now banned from using the town stores for the next 56 hours. Also, in the case that your penalty points accumulate during the penalty duration, you will be forcibly transported to Chaos Island. Please take notice of this and play accordingly." Un says, "These damn bastards. Why do they keep trying to crawl up? So annoying." Someone says to Un from behind, "You're so cool." Un get ready to attack that person. He says, "You pulled the trigger, regardless of the consequences. It was very impressive. If you have some time, can I give you a good proposal, while we have a nice chat?" Un says, "Bullshit, what are you planning? Do you also wanna die like that rogue piece of shit?" He replies, "No, of course not. I don't even have a speck of thought fighting you. On the contrary, all that's on my mind is, to be one with you." Un launch his attack and says, "Disgusting bastard, I almost puked." He is standing behind him and says, "You're so hot-headed, you shot an arrow straight into my face." Un gets shocked, and now is on the ground. That person says, "I'm in charge of recruitment for a certain guild. Un, I've been watching you for a while now, and it seems like your tendencies and abilities would be a good fit for our guild. If it's fine with you, would you like to have an interview with our president and join our guild?" Un says, "Guild, I'm not interested." He says, "Is that so? What a shame. I was going to tell you something interesting. For example, something like even with 20 billion won on the line. Or a strange phenomenon where you turn into your game character in reality." Un is not believing his words and says, "What kind of bullshit are you spouting?" That person says, "What kind of? Oh, I apologize, but I must charge you if you want to know more. Please come Chaos Island if you're interested. If you kill all the PK users on that island and reach the peak of the tower, I'll tell you more. You have to put in a teensy bit of effort into it. If you want to hear something interesting that is, well, then, I'll see you then." He uses his skill, teleportation box, and leaves that place. Un says, "A phenomenon where one's appearance suddenly changes. Could it be Lee?" We see Lee and Weall says, "I asked my cousin Unnie last night, and she said that as long as you can prove that you were harassed by a gang of people, you won't be arrested. In other words, it'll be resolved as long as I testify for you, so you won't have to worry about being sued." Lee take a breath of relief. We all see a car and says, "What the hell? Why is there a sports car parked in front of our school?" We see Sunga. She says good morning to both of them. She says, "You're earlier than I expected. I thought you'd arrive around the second period." We all asks Lee, "Who's this? Someone you know?" Lee replies, "No, but somehow, I feel like I know who they are." We all says, "Could it be Guild Rayson?" She says, "It looks like you have a rough idea of who I am. Why don't we play hooky together and go for a ride? The weather's amazing today, and I also have so much to talk about with you guys. How about it? Wanna come with us to our base?" This is the end of the video. Subscribe for the next part.